Well, hello there. Welcome to the Nth Degree with Newby and Neeper. Here we are. Donna, you have amazing information for us, and I'm just gonna ride the wave that you're bringing because this is gonna be good.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, she did not say that pre-roll before we turned on the recording.
No, 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 no. I have things to contribute to because it's a planning season, and so they kind of work together, the dreaming season and the planning season. You guys, if you don't know already, Donna is an amazing dream interpreter and she has a lot to teach on it. So she's going to bring that dreaming bit, and I'm a planner. And of course, this is the time of year to make sure you're planning your business. In fact, we're doing a workshop to plan the six-figure business and to get your I don't want to get into it. Donna, I'm already off on a bunny trail.
Well, those rabbit trails, they go fast and furious, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you're listening to this in December of 2025, which we're recording this on the 2nd of December, we were just talking about how it's a night season month. In other words, it's darker longer in the northern hemisphere, and it's a time that I personally enjoy. So I was explaining to Berlin one of the reasons I personally enjoy December and January. Well, my birthday's in January, so you got to enjoy that, right? But I like this. I'm the type of individual who likes the cycles, and I really appreciate when it gets dark earlier. I mean, I'm not talking about the false daylight savings time. I'm talking about the natural that God planned for us to have, where it's just darker and colder longer in the winter. And in Kislev, which is a Hebrew month, we're currently in Kislev, a Hebrew month. And in this long time of more darkness, you get more dreams. So it is a dreaming season for the believer. It's a dreaming season for the non-believer. For someone who's in Jesus Christ, you're getting dreams of strategy in the month of Kislev. For the non-believer, I don't know what kind of dreams you're getting, but you are dreaming more. We all dream. It's just a function of whether you're recalling those dreams or not, and whether you're studying them as a potential communication pathway to your creator. He designed humans to dream. It is a pathway of communication. For the believer, it's a communication of love notes. And so a lot of people, and I don't even know why this is, but I find it true across the board with everybody I've ever talked to about dreams is you'll have a dream and your first inclination is to wonder, what did that mean? And the next thought that you have is, it's probably bad. It's probably
Whoa.
portending or prophetic of something bad that's going to happen to me, or somebody's mad at me, or God's mad at me, or something like that. Most people start there, and it's isn't that odd that human
That's odd
nature?
to me because I'm more of an optimist, but
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I have talked to numerous people and about their dreams, and most people will have a dream and they'll think, okay, they'll think negative about the dream and
Mm.
its meaning first, and it takes a little bit of coaching and a little bit of discussion where they begin to see the redemptive side of the dream or the purpose for which it could be a positive, not a negative
Hmm.
in the person's life. Um, so if you are a Christian, I just want to say to the audience, if you are a Christian and you are not dreaming, have you considered that you need to ask your father for dreams? And a lot of people are like, oh, I have dreams, but I never remember them. Have you considered asking Holy Spirit to help you remember them?
Hmm. Another thing I do is have my spirit teach my soul what she did overnight, because
Yes, I do
she
too.
goes on exploits for the kingdom and goes rescuing people and building things and doing all of these projects, and I'm like, what were you doing? You know?
Yep, yep. The part of you that is receiving those dreams is your subconscious. dreams often come from Father as a message, because if he were to try to tell you this in the daytime, you would go talk to the hand. You just wouldn't be interested.
Yeah.
And so he'll give you it's like he gives you a mystery in the night or an intrigue. And his desire is that you would, with Holy Spirit, tease that apart and discover the hidden message in there. A lot of times we get dreams because because Father doesn't want the enemy to know what he is communicating to us. And so you feel, there's a sense you can feel of uh, a specialness to the heart of your Father in heaven who loves you and gave everything for you, for a relationship with you, that two-way communication path. And dreams have a circuit. So your conscience receives them from Father and Holy Spirit through Jesus, and you can return them to Him, in a manner of speaking, by simply taking note of the dream, pondering it, meditating on it, asking Him about it, and then saying back to Him things that you see in the dream that you like, things that you don't like. Lord, why did you show me this? I'm confused about this. It can be a jumping off point for the relationship that God is trying to build with you in your present season of life.
Yeah, yeah, so good. And I dream so much all the time, and they're big, epic dreams. And I don't write everything down because I would be there for hours every morning, and I'm already, spending time with
Yes.
the Lord. And so I try to write down or ask the Lord what's important, or even which dream was important, and what little bits. So sometimes I just put little like snippets of scenes in, you know. And last night, or actually it would have been this morning because it was after midnight, I saw I'm not going to do the whole dream, but there was the number 412 on the side of an object. And the first thing that came to me when I was asking the Lord, it was Philippians 4:12, and I'm like, well, I don't know that one off the top of my head. So I went and looked, and it's the verse that says, I have been content without anything, and I'm content with plenty. So you've taught me, I've learned to be content with wherever I am. And so it was the perfect verse for exactly what I was working on with a client earlier in the day yesterday, because
Yeah.
they've been through a season where their business was locked down, and the Lord showed us the problems, and we removed it and we cleansed it and opened the trade routes. And so now it's going to be a season of plenty. She has had multiple words about that. And again last night. So sometimes I just love it when the thing in the dream really makes sense in the natural. You
Right.
know, I get so many that I just like I don't know. And I know we've talked about this before, but it's like I just don't have a interpretation of this. I don't know what you're saying, Lord. So,
Uh-huh.
what
Yeah.
would you say
And
about that?
some dreams are from the depths of God, and they're not meant for you to know what they are. A lot of Christians have a problem with that.
Hmm. Well, we
Why
want to
didn't
be
you
in
show?
control, right?
Right? We so do need to have it all laid out, right, and spelled
Right.
out for us. But your to me, dreams are such a significant proof of the fact that you're a supernatural being
Mm.
and that you're more than you think you are. And because your night season is so mystical, it's so um not your waking day. And so
Multidimensional. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and so you really are such the multidimensional person in the night season when you're sleeping. And this is why it's important to sleep. So if you're not sleeping, or if you're waking up a lot, you're probably interrupting your dream cycle because you have to get to delta sleep before you dream. And so one of those things, like like I know for women, as you go through puberty and then you go through childbearing years and you go through menopause and all that, your dreams are going to change simply because your night seasons are changing. Your physical is interrupted often. They say pregnant women can often they'll have a dream and it's because they're seeing what the womb what the baby in their womb is actually dreaming. And
Wow.
so it's just phenomenal, but it to me dreams increase the knowledge or are the daily waking proof text of the fact that I am much more than I seem to be when I come on a screen or when I open the door to someone or when I say hello to someone on the street.
Yeah, yeah, that's so good. Oh
Yeah.
boy, you just said something though that opened up another rabbit trail that I'm tempted to go down. I don't want to deter you from dream stuff though and the importance of this season. So maybe we'll cycle back around.
Okay, you think about it. Well, I do want to say this. So I heard this recently and I thought, oh, that is so good. They were talking about the dreams you get in this month of Kislev, the Hebrew month of Kislev,
Hmm.
being actually strategies that heaven is giving you for the next couple of months.
Hmm.
And I just love that because God's year starts in the fall with the Feast of Tabernacles and all of that, Yom Kippur and all that. And then you're in the season where the sun is less if you're in our hemisphere. And so you're sleeping longer probably and maybe more rested. And so you're getting more dreams. You may remember them better. And it's such a dream season, the month of Kislev, because it's also the month of light. But this is not the light of the sun. This is the light of the son who shines in your inner man while your physical body and soul are asleep. And so you gain a measure of strategy for the future. And I think one of the I'll pause there before I go on. Did you have a thought?
Well, I've definitely been praying that the Lord would fill my body and my business with light more often lately. It comes to my mind to just, even just during the day, infuse me with light, or whatever I'm working on, this project or
Yeah.
whatever. So that's interesting that it comes to mind more often.
Yes, I think we've talked about light before, but I've been doing the same. And isn't
Yeah.
it just the mystery of God that in the darkest period of the winter for us, that he's having us think about light more. Even in the
Yeah.
darkness, we're thinking about light. And in the month of Kislev, that's where Hanukkah is, which is the celebration of the flame
Festival
of
of
the light
Lights.
on the
Ah,
Maccabean situation.
yeah.
And just and you think about it, when you're dreaming, you are seeing there is a vibrational frequency of light that your subconscious is aware of. Otherwise, how would you have that picture play out for you? It's phenomenal. All this stuff's deep dive, but
Yeah.
staying on the surface, you may want to write the dreams you get down in Kislev, especially. Keep a journal. And it's funny, Berlin, the first time I started getting dreams and stuff like that, I would try to write a novel about every little detail that happened in my
I
dream.
know. I do that. Well, because
And
I go back and I read something that I wrote and I'm like, I don't remember this dream at all. So I'm like, I need more details next time. So,
and sometimes that's good, right? But sometimes what will help, let me tell the audience what will help you. Okay. You wake up, you had a dream. If you can be very still for 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. If you can just be very still, don't think about the natural. Go back in your mind. This is what I do. I keep my eyes shut. I lay as still as I can. I don't move a muscle. And I recognize too, I had a dream. I literally think those words. I don't say them out loud. I think I had a dream. I'm seeing the dream. And I go back in the dream and I review it. I don't review all of it. I review the big thing. Here's the big things. Who was in the dream? Your perspective of the dream. Were you in the dream or were you seeing the dream? In other words, were you the actor firsthand or were you watching it all? And the people, okay, and the colors in the dream. And was something said or was something demonstrated? A lot of dreams
And
don't have anything being said at all, but they have a lot of demonstration. So pay attention to what the people are doing.
and another thing that I pay attention to is how was I feeling? Like, was
Yeah,
this
that.
happy? Was this
Mhm.
sad? Was I scared? Was I pensive? Was I excited?
Mhm.
Was I anticipating? You know?
Right. And a lot of dreams are very neutral. It can be very neutral because you ask some people, well, how did you feel in that dream? And they are not aware of an emotion, which is fascinating because that is
Wow.
the purpose of the dream. Sometimes I need to show you something without the emotion so that you can see it and have the emotion.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
really
Yeah.
strange. The other thing that dreams do, and I love this part about dreams, is they're coming to give you a new perspective. So you know how we talk about the fact that we all grow up and we get mindsets, and some of our mindset beliefs can be narrow. Some need to be broken off of us, and it's painful sometimes to not think that way about that thing or that circumstance or that person and have a new perspective. Well, a dream will come that is the purpose of the dream is to help you have a different perspective. Whereas if God had if Jesus sat down next to you on your couch and tried to tell you to have this perspective about this, let's say a person, you'd really struggle. Whereas if it comes in a dream and your soul, which is your emotional mainframe, is asleep, you're seeing something in the dream. You wake up and you're like, now, why did I see that person in my dream? Chances are because Father wants to give you a new perspective about that person. In other words, he's trying to show you a broader perspective, his lens of how he views that person and why that lens, why that person was in your life to begin with. And I love this especially about people because as you go through life, your experience with people is always going to be linked to your emotions. We're just emotive people. The soul just does that. But as you mature or get further away from a good or a bad moment with a person, your perspective about that experience can change. Sometimes it needs to change because you need to forgive them. Sometimes it needs to change because they actually had something to give you that you couldn't at that time receive because you had the wrong emotive link or you took an easy offense or whatever. And I think as we mature in situations like that, God can show you, look, I put that person in your life because I needed you to get this. And it's okay that you didn't get it 5 years ago, but now you're going to get it. Can you get it now? And if you get it now, I'm going to do something because you came through that narrow spot, if it was a negative thing, or you came through that and you overcame it. And now I'm going to give you a broader perspective about it that's actually going to open your future.
So good.
Dreams are
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. 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 That's so good. It's just, I love that the Lord wants to talk to us. And I want to come back to those moments when you're first waking up or you're cognizant of I am no longer sleeping. You know what I mean? And I do the same thing as far as holding my body really still, keeping my eyes closed, and then I bullet point the things in the dream and I try to make them sticky things, like things that I can hook all of the other details onto. Like, okay, was it a guy or a girl? Guy. Okay. Was it, you know what I mean? I just try to, was there a vehicle involved? Was there an animal involved? Was there the kind of get back to the gist of it. Because sometimes what happens is I don't know if I'm in a dozing state, but I will get back into the dream and then something else will happen. And then when I come fully back awake again, I have to separate. Okay, no, that didn't actually happen in the dream. That was me thinking about the dream where that happened.
That is very common. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
good point, Berlin, because you can't, you're even in the dozing state, your conscience is enough awake that your
Mm-hmm.
soul will change it.
Right, exactly. Exactly. In those moments, that's when I was debating. Now, did I see 412 or 414 on the
Uh-huh.
side of, you know what I mean? And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, settle back down and call back to the remembrance the exact picture of what I saw. Oh, it was 412. Okay.
Yeah.
Or okay, now was that a cat or a dog? And then like, well, if it were a dog, it would be da 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 da. But that wasn't the question. The question was it a cat or a dog? Not
Uh,
if it were, and
right.
it can go so many ways, right?
Yeah. The other thing that can happen is in a night season, you could have one or two dreams. And in the dozing state, when you're waking up trying to remember it, if you're not careful, you'll merge the dreams when they
Oh,
were two
that happens
separate.
all the time. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
they're
Uh-huh.
two
I
separate
get
dreams.
things conflated. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. So it's possible to have one, two, three dreams in a night, or, and here's the caveat, it's possible to have one dream, but it's got two or three scenes. And so when you're writing that down, you're going to go scene one or S1, S2. That's how I do it. And
Mm-hmm.
because in a single dream with different scenes, you're kind of being shown the same topic. It's like the same topic of conversation is on the table. And he's showing you different things about this same thing. It's usually a dream like that for me is usually I've got something real sticky in my life going on and I'm really trying to pull it apart and it feels like a spider web and I'm like what do I even do? And so he's showing me some different ways to look at the different parts of it to pull it apart.
Mm-hmm.
um and then
I
there's some
Go ahead.
I just want to say this, and then there's some dreams that are so out there, so fantastic, so amazing that you will never forget this dream.
Either that or you
And
can never explain it because there aren't words.
and
Like
when
I
you
don't
go
have a
tell
grid for
somebody,
that.
yeah, what were you going to say a minute ago?
Uh, Well, a minute ago I was thinking about the times in a dream where I remembered something. So I'm in the dream and I either remember that something happened or I remember a previous dream in the dream. And so then I'm always asking, okay, Lord, are you telling me something again because I didn't get it the first time, or are we adding to the story? I need to know more? So those are always really interesting dreams. I just had one a few nights ago that was like that because I showed up and in the dream it's like deja vu. And so I'm telling the guy, no, this is going to happen. I know. I had a dream or I did it before or whatever it was, the memory of it. And I knew how to steer it that time because I had already had the memory of it or the dream of it. So like, oh dear, what do I do with that, Lord? What are you telling me? Am I being too controlling in my life?
See, what it started was a line of thought with
Yeah.
you. It started a relational question. Okay, Lord, are you highlighting something for me to see here? Am I seeing something wrong? Am I seeing something right? But I just need an expanded view.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you just calling me back to my foundation, about something
Mm-hmm.
I sincerely forgot about?
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say this because I think this is really important with Christian dreams. If you're a Christian and you're dreaming, you are going to be in love with your dreams. You're going to really enjoy them and like them. Most of you out there. Don't run, go tell somebody a dream that's special to you, expecting them to react in the same way that you reacted to your dream. Because this is what happens. You do have an enemy out there, and he wants to squash these dreams. He wants to kill every fiber of light that's within them. So if you go tell somebody, be careful who you're telling because if you're telling someone who doesn't get dreams or doesn't remember their dreams, everybody dreams, but not all remember, or they don't have any revelation about that a dream is a pathway of communication, uh, they may rain on your parade. They may squash you. And when this happens a few times, you'll be shocked at this. This has happened. I've talked to people, right? They had a dream. It was fantastic. They went and told so and so, and that person totally dissed their dream, totally rained on it, totally just, and you know what happened? For the next like 3 weeks, they didn't have any dreams.
Mm.
So steward your dreams with care. This is why you want to write them down. They're intimate things, like a love note. And they're coming to you because the Godhead wants to talk to you. Now, there are some dreams that are wonderful, and eventually after you ponder them and meditate on them, even after maybe you have the correct interpretation, because dreams need interpretation, that's when you share your dream. I had this dream and God told me it meant this. Or I had this dream and it came to pass, but it wasn't exactly like that. It was a prophetic dream. And so some parts were similar and it kind of played out like this.
Mhm.
It's usually easier to tell someone the testimony of a dream after you've had the dream, had time to meditate, receive some inkling of the interpretation, correct interpretation, and then you have the testimony of how it was special to you. That's what you lead with. You lead with, God loved me so much, he gave me a dream. It was this and it meant this.
That's good. Yeah, I had that happen about a month ago. It was pretty profound in what the Lord told me. But here's another thing that happens to me a lot, and I know that you and I have talked about this. Patterns. If you have repeated things, like I have a pattern of discovering new rooms, either in a childhood home, like I had grown up there, and then I'll go back and all of a sudden there's a room that I never knew was there, or in my own home, or in my grandma's home, or someplace where I didn't know there was a new room, or a room shouldn't have been there or wasn't there, and now there is one. So that's a pattern that I've had almost all of my life, you know?
And
So
what did Jesus say? In heaven, there's many mansions.
yeah,
I
yeah,
go to prepare a place for you.
right.
And so a dream like that with your rooms are new places to explore that's an invitation from heaven. It's like an open door to you.
Right.
And so you begin to think broader, larger, expanded. What's in this room? Lord, do you have a new room metaphorically that I see in the dream as a metaphor? But you have a new space, a new thought, a new principle, a concept that I've not really connected the dots about.
Yeah, and it's shown up in my business too, in new opportunities or new strategies or new products that I can create or things like that. New markets that I can go into,
Mhm.
and sometimes I ask the Lord where that new room was, if it was in my mountain, or is it in my mansion or any of the other places? Lord, was this in your house or my house? Are you showing this to me in my personal life or in my business? And if it's in my personal life, are we talking about in my health or in my relationships or in my, you know what I mean? Where is this new room?
Oh, I
Where is
love
the
it,
place to
Lynn. So
explore?
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Really a great way to explore that, all those types of questions. And I think, sometimes we ask questions about that and we don't necessarily hear or see an answer, but we'll have a knowing, and like in an hour or two, we'll go, huh. I mean, I love that when I have a dream and I'm just rolling it around in my mind in the background while you're getting dressed and you're doing all the normal stuff you got to do in the day. And then all of a sudden, after you've thought about it a while, you're like, huh, you just have a knowing. That Holy Spirit just drops in your spirit, man. And you're like, that is what that's about. Or you see it come to pass. Like all of a sudden you walk into an
Hmm.
experience where you're like, whoa, I dreamed about this.
Yeah, yeah, so good. So pay attention to patterns that come as well.
Yes, I remember, and dreams can be so helpful if you're paying attention. I dreamed that when we moved to Oklahoma City, this house that we bought, I had seen the house on screen on a platform, and then when I visited the house for the first time, I walked into the kitchen and realized I'd had a dream about the picture window that's in the house.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
went, "Oh, I think this is my house. I think I need to choose this house."
So good. And it is a
It
beautiful
was in my
house.
dream. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good. Yeah.
The other
Um,
thing I want to say about dreams, and this is another common early mistake in interpretation of dreams, is that you will have a dream, and guess what? The truth is that dream is probably about you. It's not about the other person. And here's what I mean. God comes to talk to you in the night season about your realm, your sphere, your influence, your hopes, your dreams, your hurts, your pain points. But what a lot of times will happen is you'll have a dream and you'll think, "Oh, I got to call so and so because I had a dream about her and I got to tell her this dream." Very, very common mistake. Please don't do that. You'll get your feelings hurt. And it's because God is not, that dream isn't about that person or for that person necessarily, although you have to say there are people that get dreams for other people, myself included. But um, early on, as you're being as this whole new dreaming and dream interpretation and understanding the pathway of communication that it is opens to you, most often I'd say 90% of your dreams are about you. They're between you and God. And so what'll happen to women who are married is they'll go, "Well, I had a dream about you, honey, and you're doing something wrong, or you may be my husband, but da 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 da." It's just like, wait, slow down, calm, breathe. Let's meditate on that and think of the metaphors in the dream,
okay.
because dreams are metaphorical. They all, and people hate this when I say it, but it's the truth. Dreams need interpretation.
Okay. I just have to say this. And now I'm like, I had a dream that that's what the dream was. So I was doing something and I had a dream about some friends. Oh, you know them in California. I'm not going to say the name, but and then they showed up later in a dream. And I went over to her and said, "Hey, I had a dream about you." And she just turned around and she goes, "You did not have a dream about me. I was not in your dream." And I'm like, okay. And I went back to what I was doing and I felt, no, I need to tell her. I just need to finish my sentence because it had to do with t-shirts. And we were working with t-shirts and I had had the dream about t-shirts. So it was like that was three instances in the same dream or two or three different scenes of the same dream where I was talking about having a dream, seeing them in a dream, and then telling them that I saw them in a dream.
Uh, yeah, that's interesting. That's a wild dream.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I have
and
a
some
lot
of
like
those
that.
dreams you will, without even trying, you'll walk into the situation. That's because it was a
Mm,
prophetic dream. And
mm,
you'll find yourself, oh, and then you're remembering, and it feels like deja vu, which is been here before feeling, or I've
mm-hmm,
done this before feeling. Well, you actually have your spirit man engaged in that timeless or outside of time space in a dream, and
mm-hmm.
you had that experience. Now you may be walking through that in your timeline of life. And as you do, it kind of guides you and you know what to do. I'll never forget I had that happen one time and I wasn't going to do something. Like I'd made a decision not to do something. And then I walked into the circumstance and it totally changed my mind. Oh no, I do need to do this other thing because
Mm.
I've been here before. In that being here in the stream before, I did this and I need to do that. And it was like a game changer for the circumstance that I was in.
Wow. Yeah, that's so good. So I guess the bottom line is Ask for dreams, ask to remember your dreams, and then steward them well by writing them down and meditating on them and asking the Lord what that is. And then for this season, this is a great time to be planning for the next year. It's a great time to hit the ground running, hit the ground with clarity on your purpose, on your destiny, and some strategy that goes with it that can help you walk that out in a strategic kind of a way. And obviously, I'm all about business, but in your personal life as well, there might be some strategies that the Lord is trying to show you on how to better fulfill destiny, or
Yeah.
a turn that needs to be made, or an
Mhm.
up leveling that needs to happen. And with up levelings, there's a new threshold. So there's a step through that needs to happen sometimes. So,
Right.
yeah.
And one thing, if you're interested in dreams, and you don't get them, ask someone that you know. If you're a Christian, ask someone that you know that does get dreams to physically lay their hands on you and impart the gift of dreaming. It may be that something in your childhood shut that down, and that can be reopened through prayer.
Mm.
The other thing, if you're interested in dreams and that sort of thing, follow your interest and go get some dream training. I can highly recommend Barbie Breathitt to you. She is a wonderful dream coach, and Barbie Breathitt, you can Google her, and she's got several different avenues and help with interpretation too. Doug Addison is another one. He's written
Mm.
books
Hmm.
about dreams, and I think Patricia King has written on dreams. And there's lots of people out there that have written about this as because they're important because dreaming is important to being human.
Hmm.
So I encourage you to go find and have fun finding. Just be careful because um, I say be careful. What I really mean is be discerning, because every human has the capacity to dream. So a lot of people who do not have a relationship with love himself, they will interpret dreams a little bit differently than a Christian would. And so you want to be careful about that, because their interpretation books and their symbols, books of symbols out there and stuff like that, I would just recommend to you, as a believer in Christ, that you need to follow someone who's obviously in the same situation.
Well, my goodness, that opens up a whole new can of worms, doesn't it? But I don't,
Yes.
not for this episode. But yeah, definitely have discernment and know that there are mixtures out there, things that are mixed with Kabbalah or a Jewish mysticism. Just ask the Lord. Go to the Spirit of Truth Himself. Say,
Yes.
what do you say about this?
Ask the Spirit of Truth for help.
Yep.
And we've just barely scraped the surface about dreams. There's lots of people talking about them, but it's a huge topic. So, just saying that by way of saying, if you heard something that you've heard other people and Donna and that person disagree, it's okay. It's okay. Dreams they're just very unique. So see where you land with it. Ask the Lord about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's so good. Well, we bless you to dream, and we bless you to remember the dreams and interpret the dreams as well. And I bless you in the new year and the coming season. And if you, of course, need any cleanup on things that you don't want to take into the new year, hit us up. That's what we're here for. So go to spiritcenterbusiness.com to see about the coaching or healing, inner healing there. Or, Donna is on, are you still at dwellhouse.net, right?
You can't reach me there right now. Um,
Okay.
Better to reach me through you if they
Okay.
need.
All right. Yep. Let's do it that way.
All right.
Sounds great. All right, you guys. So share this episode out there, like, subscribe, and we appreciate your comments, and we will definitely take a look at those. And we bless you. And until the next time,
Take it to the nth degree.
bye bye.
Bye.